a study done by The Guardian in 2015, young black men were 9 times more likely than other Americans to be killed by police officers. Black men are being killed at twice the rate of other male Americans. So when I'm sitting down watching the news and I see that another black person has been killed, I'm thinking in the back of my head, man, another one? And when I'm thinking that, that means there have been way too many tragedies. So in today's presentation, I'm going to express my concerns regarding police brutality and how we can fix it by enhancing their training to ensure safer communities and maintain justice. So I'm going to start by describing some police shooting cases that have happened recently. I'm going to start with Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice is the youngest all the way on the right. He was 12 years old when he was shot and killed by police in Cleveland. So the backstory is that he was playing with a gun at the park, and a local park visitor called 911 and said, there's a kid playing with a gun at the park. It's probably fake. He mentioned that twice in the phone call, but the responder failed to mention that to the 2 officers that were dispatched to go check out the scene. And as the police arrived, Rice reached for his waistband. Before they could even see the gun, within 2 seconds of arriving, the police shot and killed this 12-year-old child. Second one is Eric Garner. He was a 43-year-old husband and father. He was actually choked and killed by police. It was just an average day. You know, he's just going out trying to make some money to pay the bills, take care of his family. What he was doing was illegal. He was selling individual cigarettes, and that is illegal. So when police approached him, there was some verbal confrontation, and they started turning into an argument. As the police proceeded to arrest him, Garner resisted the arrest. So one of the police officers put him in a chokehold. They scuffled a little bit, he toppled over, and the police proceeded to arrest him while Garner kept saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe," and he later died of a combination of the chokehold and chest compressions. Philando Castile is the last picture that I have. His was actually pretty recent. It happened maybe a few weeks ago. He was shot multiple times and killed by police in his car in front of his girlfriend and his 4-year-old daughter. He was pulled over for a traffic routine stop. One of his taillights were broken. The police asked him to get his license and registration, and in doing so, he mentioned that he had a weapon and he was licensed and had a permit to carry, and that's more to show that he is not a threat to the police. However, as he was reaching for his license, the police shot him 4 times, killing him in front of his girlfriend and his daughter. The significance of these 3 cases are that there are complete video recordings of everything that happened. Unfortunately, no one is being held accountable. No one is going to jail for these innocent killings. So that raises some questions. Why couldn't police tell Rice or try to comply with him or have tried to protect him from the weapon that he was, said to have, even though it was fake? Why couldn't Garner peacefully do what he was doing or get some verbal warning instead of automatically jumping to arrest? Why was Castile shot and killed for following instructions from a police officer? So many questions as to why police are doing their jobs incorrectly, and it actually makes me wonder, why are the ones that we're supposed to trust with our lives actually the ones we are supposed to be afraid of and protected from? So let me explain by describing the trainings that police go through. Obviously, there are some requirements. Police need to have a high school diploma or something equivalent like a GED. Some agencies require a bachelor's degree or maybe a minimum number of college credit hours, but that usually is in regards to pay. So the higher education, the higher the pay. They also attend police academy, which is basically classroom training for about 4 to 6 months, depending on what states. And they also learn some practical examples and scenarios. The last part of their training is field training, which is when the cadet accompanies a training officer and does routine patrol, and they do that for about 8 weeks. Now you wonder, is this enough for someone, an average high school graduate, to be able to learn the law and enforce it upon average citizens? In my opinion, no. Because lawyers go through much more schooling to learn the law and they don't get a gun. However, police learn in this much amount of time and they do get a gun. So my ideas are to improve their training. I was obsessed with this whole police brutality thing since about 2012, and I wrote an email to the chief of police in my city to have some small local changes to hopefully gradually get better. My ideas are to enhance their education, so either have a higher education requirement or make the passing grade in their curriculum a little bit higher than average. This is to ensure that they understand the law, absolutely. Another one is to enhance their physical strength so that they do not resort to their guns immediately and use their physical force. The last one is respectful confrontation. So this is important when police are dealing with people every single day. They need to have mediating skills and emotional strength in order to respectfully approach a situation that could easily go bad. The thing that I noticed is that police seem to be afraid. They need to understand that when they're entering this job, they're risking their lives, and that they need to understand that to get a peaceful outcome. In conclusion, I believe that a lot of innocent people are being killed and no one is being held accountable. So how can we fix that? My 3 ideas of hiring their education, enhancing physical strength, and respectful confrontation. The 3 cases have truly shocked me. There are many that we haven't even heard about that because they don't get any media coverage, but the ones that have, they're truly depressing, and I'm worried for my family and my friends. So I'm asking you to do your part. I'm not saying you need to go out and protest, but retweet some tweets, share some sites on Facebook, talk to your families, talk to people or your community leaders, but make sure you're doing this peacefully. Try to be the difference that your community needs. And that's my work site. Thank you.